Hello friends, my name is Tawfiq and you're watching my channel Graphics Den. So in this video we are again going to see some of the tools which are present in CorelDRAW. So we are going to start with the tool called as Smooth tool, which is located just below the Shape tool. Now for Shape tool, what I'll do is I'll create a simple path by using the freehand tool. Freehand tool basically works as a pencil tool, where we have to press and hold the left mouse button and simply draw. So I'm drawing it any shape. So this is what I have drawn. So as you can see, this is not a smooth shape by any means. So let's say if I want to make it smoother, then I can use the smooth tool. So I have to simply click and drag. So before that, what I'll do is let me create a more rough tool, or rough shape rather. So this is what I have created. Now before changing it, I'm making a copy of it so that we can differentiate easily between the two shapes. So this is our original shape and I'm going to change this particular shape. So I have to simply click and drag, nothing else, just click and drag. So it will smoothen whatever shape that we are using it on. So as you can already see, we can see the difference between the original shape, which looks rougher, and the shape that we have used, the smooth tool, is already looking much smooth or much smoother. Look, this one, I'll increase the thickness, let's say 24, and this one again 24. So as you can clearly see, this is rough and this is smoother. So we can use the smooth tool to simply smoothen any shape. So let us use it in some other shape. This time around I am using pen tool to create a shape, or rather an outline. So what if I use this particular shape? You can simply drag it. You don't have to do anything else, simply drag. So this will be smoothened out like this, like this. As you can see, this is getting smoother and smoother. And you can also change the size of the nib. This is called as a nib size, and this is basically the speed of the brush. So if I increase the brush speed or rate, it will become quicker or faster. As you can see clearly, it has become faster. So you can choose the speed or the rate of the brush according to your convenience. So this is how it's done, and it is used for smoothing or add smoothness to any object that you want. That's why it is called as smooth tool. Self-explanatory tool, smooth tool. Then we have smear tool. So for that, let me create a simple line. Now smear simply smears the shape like this. Again we have the speed or the pressure. This time it is pressure, and if you want to increase the size of the nib, it is called as nib size or the brush size. You can change it, of course, from here, from the property bar, but there is another option. You can simply press and hold the shift and then click left mouse button, and you can move it around like to the left, to the right. Then it will simply increase or decrease the nib size. So this is a hotkey or the shortcut key, or you can simply use this particular option from the property bar, whatever you feel comfortable with. So now I have decreased the pressure and we have selected a smooth smear. So this is what is called as the smooth. You can see we have a smooth shape. So let's say if we create a shape or a logo and we want to change it slightly, not much but very slight difference in the original shape that we have created, then we can use the smear tool to simply smear any shape. What if I change it to pointy smear? Then it will be pointier. As you can simply see, I will increase the pressure so that we can clearly see the difference. So this is the smooth smear and this is the pointy smear. So this is how it works. You can also use it on any shape that you create, like this. This is a pointy smear and this one is called as the smooth smear. As you can see, the edge of this particular shape is smoother and edge of this particular shape, or the end of this particular area, is pointier. That's why it is called as pointy smear, and this one is called as smooth smear. So you can use it to any shape that you want. That's why it is called as smear. And this option, when you are using a tablet, pen tablet, then this option is used. But presently I'm using mouse, so this is not useful for me. So this is called as the smear tool. It is very useful while creating logos, and if you want slight changes in logos or any particular shapes, then this is a very useful tool. Now we have twirl tool. Again, as the name suggests, it twirls the object. So for that I'm again going to create some shapes. This is a rectangle. Again I'm creating a straight line. So what exactly this tool does, it basically twirls. Now we have the speed, which is called as rate. We have the size, nib size. Then we have a couple of options. If you want to twirl it on the clockwise, this is counterclockwise. That means anti-clockwise and clockwise. So presently the clockwise mode is on. So what if I simply press and hold the left mouse button, it will twirl the outline or the line, simply the line. And if I choose the counterclockwise, anti-clockwise option, then it will twirl it in anti-clockwise direction. As simple as that. And if I increase the rate or the speed, then it will do it faster. First I have to select the object. Look, the speed has changed. And remember one thing, it doesn't work on the fill color, it only works on the lines or the outlines. If I try to apply it over, it doesn't work. So you have to apply it on the outline or the line. This is clockwise and that one was anti-clockwise, and this is the speed. If you decrease the speed, then it will be slower, like this, much slower. So you can choose it according to your convenience and what shape you are trying to create or what changes you are trying to apply. This, all the properties will depend upon that. So this one is twirl tool. Let us try and create a shape using the twirl tool and the tools that we have discussed in the previous video. So if you haven't seen my previous video, please go and watch the previous video, then you can enjoy this video, or in particularly the steps that I'm going to perform right now. So let's say I have created this particular shape, which is an oval shape, and as you already know, we cannot use it on the fill color. You can use it only on the outline. But what if we do something? What if we use a click? We can simply click and drag over here, and we can simply drag it inside. So even if it doesn't work on the fill color, we have tricked it by pressing and holding the mouse button on the outline and taking it inside. So this is how it looks. This is a pretty random shape. We can call it as an abstract shape. So I have just removed the outline by clicking it over here, right click. Now what if I use some of the options that we have learned in the previous video? I'll simply place it over here and right click, Control R. So it will create a copy, it will simply repeat. So since we have used the twirl tool, it has become heavier. As you can already see, it is taking a longer time, but we can already see by using any random abstract shape we have created a pretty much a symmetrical shape. So I'm selecting this one and I'm using or applying transparency to this shape. Look, simply amazing. By using any random shape or any abstract shape, we have created a perfect symmetrical shape. So this is the beauty of CorelDRAW. So this is what we can do by using the twirl tool and the tools that we have learned in the previous video. We can change the color and we can play with the values, different values. We can also use the linear transparency, which I'm going to discuss in the future videos. So I will delete this because it is taking too much time. So simply remember, if you use more than one tool, you can create some interesting shapes in CorelDRAW. So this was twirl tool. Now again, let me create a line. Now the attract and repel tool. Now we have a couple of options in the attract and repel tool. First of all, we are using the attract tool. So this will simply attract any outline which is present. This is attract, getting attracted. So why this is, that's why it is called as attract tool. And pretty much opposite to attract is repel tool. So it will repel rather than attracting. Rather than to attract, it will repel like this. That's why it is called as repel tool. We can also use it on a rectangle so that we will understand it better. So let me first use the attract tool. This is the attract tool. Again, similar properties, nib size, speed, which is called as rate. Let me decrease this to 80. Attract. Again, shift and hold so that we can increase the size. This is what can be achieved by using the attract option, and the repel option, it will do the opposite thing like this. So these are simply attract and repel tools. Now in the end we have a couple of more tools. We have smudge tool. Again, I will increase the size of the nib. Now interestingly, we cannot use the shortcut key or the hotkey while using the smudge tool. We have to increase or decrease the size by using the property bar only. We cannot change it using the hotkey. Now we have some different option over here. We have the nib size that I have increased. This is the nib size. Now we have the diode value. We'll see it what exactly is the diode value. And we also have pen tilt. Now as you can see, the pen tilt is right now set at 45 degrees, and you can see how the nib size looks. It is not perfect circle, it is looking oval shaped, but as I increase the nib the angle, the pen tilt, the maximum value is 90 degrees, then it will become a perfect circle. So this is what we can do. Now see, the diode value is 0. That's why we can do this. It is pretty much parallel, but we can also use it to this particular shape. So this is the pen tilt, and as we decrease the pen tilt value, it will get thinner and thinner. So we can use it like this, and as we increase this, it will get thicker, or it will become a perfect circle. So let us keep it to perfect circle for now. And what if now remember, this is what happens when we keep the diode value to 0. What if I increase the diode value? Let us keep it to 7 plus 7. So it will narrow the shape as we go along. It will not narrow the shape on both the directions. So you can simply use, let's see what will happen if you use it on a rectangle. This is what will happen. it narrows as we go along like this. And what if we keep it to minus? So I'm keeping it to -7 now, as you can see, minus. So it will do the opposite, it will increase as we go along. It will increase like this. Again, similar thing will happen to any of the outline that we create. Like this, increase. So if the derived value is positive, then it will narrow. It will get narrow as we go along, and it will do the opposite if we keep the derived value to negative. And this one is, if we decrease this one and if we use this pen bearing, then it will get tilted. The bearing, the brush will get tilted. As you can see, it was perpendicular, now it is a bit tilted. So you can use it according to your requirement, this option, pen bearing. So this was, and this is also used for making minor changes to any shape that you have created, or logo for that matter. But you need to continuously practicing to get a hang of it. Now lastly we have the roughen tool, which simply roughens any outline that we select. We have similar options. Now we have frequency of spikes, and we have derived value again, and again we have pen tilt. If we keep it to 0, then the spike height, the spike that we are going to create, the spike height will be highest, or the spikes will be taller. And as we decrease as we increase the pen tilt, then the height of the spikes will get smaller, or the height will be decreased like this. As we keep it to 0, this is the highest value that we can get height wise, and if we increase this, then it will get shorter and shorter like this. And if you want to increase the frequency, then you can simply use the frequency of spike like this. As you can already see, the frequency of spikes is increased. Now if you look carefully, these are pretty constant. The spacing is pretty constant between the spikes, but if you want to use, or if you want to differentiate between the spacing of the spikes, then we can use the derived value, as we have seen in the last tool. Derived, let's see, if I increase the derived value, then as you can see, the space is decreasing. The space is more here and it is decreasing as we go along. And if we keep it to minus, then it will do the opposite. It will increase the space as we go along. So that is why it is called as dry out. And this is again, if you want to increase or decrease the height of the spike, then you can, if you increase the pen tilt, then height will be decreased, and if you decrease the height, height will be increased. So it is height and pen tilt is directly proportion in simple words. So these are the tools that we can use to change or to make changes, small changes in particular to your logos or any shape that you create. But these are very useful tool if you practice it regularly. So keep on practicing, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, bye bye and cheers.